Brady Bunch prided itself on being a family-friendly series whose audience could always count on its beloved characters to stay out of harm's way. This attitude wasn't reflected behind the scenes. It seems there were numerous occasions where the stars were put in some decidedly sketchy situations that could have proven disastrous. Bunch cast. During the planning of the Brady Bunch's 5th and final season, it was decided the family would take a trip to the brand new Kings Park amusement park located just outside Cincinnati. Kings Park had only been open for a year at that point, but had already been featured in a similar context in an episode of The Partridge Family. Many people in TV audiences didn't know it at the time, but both the Brady Bunch and the Partridge Family were owned by the company Paramount, who also happened to be one of the major stockholders of the company who had recently purchased Kings Park. Because of this, the episodes of those beloved series set at the park were both clever commercials meant to entice families to come visit the new park. The episode that took place at Kings Park was called The Cincinnati Kids, and it revolved around the plot of Mike Brady bringing his family to Cincinnati to pitch some potential expansions to the heads of Kings Park. The main part of Mike's pitch is a blueprint that daughter Jan happens to mistake for her poster of the character Yogi Bear, causing the main conflict of the episode. Yogi Bear is another property owned by Paramount and factored prominently into Kings Park's branding. The episode premiered in November of 1973, and it was the 106th episode of the series. The Partridge Family had only filmed at Kings Park for a couple of days, while the Brady Bunch decided to film there for a week. The park was incredibly busy during filming, though most of the attendees were likely there in large part just to get a glimpse of the Brady Bunch actors. Those who didn't realize an episode was being filmed were likely annoyed, as filming interrupted a lot of the day-to-day operations of the park. The cast was set up at the Kings Island Inn, which functions as the amusement park's official lodging quarters across the street. Apparently, while staying there, they were subject to a never-ending onslaught of gawkers, some of whom supposedly crossed the line into Peeping Tom territory. But after 5 years of performing in their iconic roles, the majority of the cast had become used to being the center of attention in public. Despite the fact that the Cincinnati Kids was meant to essentially be a subtle commercial for the Kings Park amusement park, the park is never actually mentioned in the episode by name. But its name can be seen multiple times, written on the sign or in front of the bus that pulls up to the Kings Island Inn. The episode proved to be a great commercial for the amusement park, which is still around today, but filming wasn't an entirely pleasant experience for the cast. One innocuous scene during the episode features the family riding on a wooden roller coaster. It proved fairly difficult to film, and Robert Reed and Susan Olsen both refused to participate. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like, and subscribe to FACTSVERSE for more, and stick around for a lot more about this dangerous episode of the Brady Bunch. This video is brought to you by Magic Spoon. If you're like me, you need an easy breakfast. Cereal was my go-to, but I couldn't eat the sugary stuff while trying to lose weight. With only 140 calories per serving, Magic Spoon puts cereal back on the table again. There's 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. Magic Spoon is now my easy breakfast on most days, and it's actually good for me. No matter your health goals, you need to try Magic Spoon as a low-carb, high-protein, and zero-sugar alternative. Click the link below to get some Magic Spoon cereal today to help you accomplish your health goal. Grab a variety pack and let us know what your favorite flavor is. After trying some new flavors, mine is cinnamon. And be sure to use the promo code FACTSVERSE at checkout to get $5 off any order. Or go to magicspoon.com/FACTSVERSE. As they were seen, instead of mounting the camera on the front car of the roller coaster, he'd have a cameraman sitting in the front car, holding the camera and pointing it back at the actors. The cameraman claimed he could do it, but Robert Reed wasn't convinced. He decided to opt out of filming the scene, meanwhile used for the young actress. As it turns out, Robert Reed was right yet again. During the official run, the cameraman lost control of his camera and it ended up hitting him in the head, causing him to bleed profusely. The scene did end up being filmed and made it into the episode, though fans may be surprised to learn the man holding the camera was bleeding. For the most part, the cast enjoyed it when episodes of the show allowed them to travel outside the Paramount Studios lot. But the Cincinnati Kids wasn't the first vacation episode of the series that could have proven disastrous. The show's prior season had started out with a series of 3 episodes set and filmed on location in Hawaii. During the filming of this episode, a similarly deadly event almost occurred, this time involving Florence Henderson and Susan Olsen. Thankfully, Florence managed to save little Susan's life. During filming, the cast and crew sailed out into the ocean by boat so they could get footage of the Brady family riding a wave. When they got out on the waters, they realized the waves were a great deal bigger than they'd anticipated. But they decided they'd film the scene anyway. Not many preparations had been made, and it seems the cast wasn't even given life jackets. This decision was made all the more egregious based on the fact that Susan Olsen barely even knew how to swim. While the family was out in the water, Florence Henderson was treading alongside Susan Olsen when she noticed that a decidedly large wave was sending the nearby boat that the crew was filming from out of control. Seeing the boat was heading towards them, Florence grabbed a hold of Susan and did her best to swim out of the way. The two were sent spiraling underwater. If it hadn't been for Florence's steady grip, Susan would have likely drowned. The incident proved a bonding experience for the two, but they both certainly lost a lot of respect for the show's crew. According to Florence, she was shocked the crew could be so flippant when it came to preparations for the scene. Despite the fact Florence and Susan could have died, the filming of the Brady Bunch's Hawaii episodes wasn't an entirely negative experience for the cast. According to star Maureen McCormick, she and co-star Barry Williams shared their first kiss in Hawaii after years of romantic tension on set. The two never truly became romantically involved afterwards, but it was a memorable experience for both of them. Nowadays, the two are still lifelong friends, just not lovers. Now it's time to hear from you. Were you surprised to hear about the dangers of filming the Brady Bunch? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to FACTSVERSE if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.